Hi there, Zamir for NerdTube. These are my thoughts and some major spoilers ahead for Death and Other Details, a series currently on Hulu in North America and Disney Plus pretty much everywhere else in the world. This is a whodunit, and I love whodunits. Ever since I saw Death on the Nile, I fell in love with whodunits. It was such a great story with a great payoff I never saw coming, and seeing this super sleuth in Hercule Poirot piece everything together and explain it to us, the audience, in a way that was made so much sense if you've been watching the film from start to finish. It was very satisfying, and it is one of my favorite films of all time, and in my opinion, the greatest whodunit of all time. Now, this particular series, which is 10 episodes long, is in a similar vein to Death on the Nile. We have Mandy Patinkin playing Rufus Coatsworth, a British sleuth, and Violet Bean playing Imogen Scott, a young lady who could be the successor to Rufus because she happens to have good sleuth skills of her own. They join up together because they happen to be on this ship, which has a retro look about it. It is set in the modern day, but there's a retro look on the ship on purpose, where somebody is being killed, and so they have to figure out who the killer is. There's a wide variety of suspects. All of these people have something to hide because we all have something to hide in our real life, whether it be me or you. We all have true skeletons in our closets, yada yada. Doesn't necessarily make us killers or murderers, but because of those particular things that we have to hide, we end up just being suspects because we're withholding a truth that we don't want other people, especially the law, so to speak, maybe knowing. And so that makes things very interesting in finding out who the killer truly is with his misdirections and wondering who the suspect may be and all of that. Now, to a degree, this series does play on the whodunit genre very well, but unfortunately, like this series in films like Knives Out and Glass Onions, they do like to take the whodunit genre in a totally different direction, in a way which is kind of unique for that particular genre. Well, I think what makes the whodunit genre so good is the simplicity of it. Somebody's died, somebody's been killed, sorry, and we have to figure out who done it. And then when you make things more elaborate and in a way convoluted, then it kind of takes away from what's so cool about this genre in the first place. And with 10 episodes, there you have to maybe have the odd filler and maybe take things in different directions here and there. But I think it kind of becomes detrimental to the payoff, which is what I felt was kind of unsatisfying to a degree with this particular series when it came to the sleuthing and trying to figure out who done what and understanding all these characters and the details and what they're all about and what they're hiding and what they're not hiding and the misdirections and really trying to figure out within yourself who it could be. That's great, but because there's 10 episodes and it wants to be a bit more than just a regular who done it just falls a little bit flat on its face, in my opinion. And this is not necessarily how I want my whodunits to be. I want them to be more in the Agatha Christie mold, so to speak, not like this. But I still had fun with this. It just wasn't the best payoff, which is a shame because you know a good whodunit needs to be intriguing, interesting, keeps you wondering, keeps you guessing, and pays off really well at the end to make an overall complete, satisfying experience. And most of this experience was that, but unfortunately the payoff wasn't. And I don't know, it's almost to the detriment when you got somebody like Mandy Patinkin who just looks absolutely perfect for this super sleuth role, and even Violet Bean, who by the way was Jesse Quick in the CW series of The Flash, she played a really good like number two or future prodigy, sorry, to Mandy Patinkin's Rufus Cosworth, because she happens to have really good sleuth skills of her own, and seeing them two working together it's a real delight, having to unravel this mystery. I just wish things turned out a little bit better by the end. Supporting cast is great. I thoroughly enjoyed trying to understand them and trying to decipher myself as this third sleuth, so to speak. Who is the killer? And that all of that is great. And with 10 episodes, obviously things can drag a little bit. There are fillers and stuff like that, and there are flashback scenes and all of that, which I'm never a big fan of necessarily flashback scenes. I think I find them a bit annoying at times for certain shows. I can understand when it comes to maybe adding further detail, which is what this series needed when it comes to obviously trying to understand the overall plot of what's going on and the subplots as well. But that being 10 episodes, I can understand why they did all of this sort of stuff. I'm just saying, it doesn't always work. Overall, this is a good show. If you are, in need of a decent whodunit, give it a go. It might be for you. I do hope they do a second season of this and maybe do it in a way that is more traditional, because this was feeling like a traditional whodunit, but then again, it ended up not being so. And there is more than one person who gets killed. By the latter episodes, we have about 4 or 5 dead people, and we're wondering who the killer is. Initially starts with one, obviously, and then we're all trying to figure out who that person, who the killer is. But then, more people start to get bumped off, and then you wonder, who could it be? Because sometimes the people who get bumped off are the people who you were suspecting in the first place. So yeah, it's interesting in that sense. Anyway, what am I going to give this as a mark? It's hard to say. I liked it, most of it. Didn't like all of it. Do I give it a 6 or a 7? I'm in a generous mood. I'm going to give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. This show is comical at times. It's serious at times. It's definitely adult orientated, not made for kids. There's scenes of sex, drugs, and there's lots of vulgar language. It has all of those things that you want in an adult orientated show, as well as it being a whodunit. So yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's reasonably satisfying. The characters are endearing. I liked it, but didn't love it. And it definitely could be a lot better. Anyway, let me know what you think of this particular show here on NerdTube with a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We are without doubt the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care now. Bye bye.